I can't believe there is actually an adult e-bike inside this box, but there is. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now I've been sent the Bodywel T16 Pro e-bike. Now it comes in various colours, as you'll see here, and I've been sent the white one. Now it has to be one of the smallest e-bikes out there, and certainly as far as I'm concerned it's one of the nicest looking ones. So let's get it unboxed, assemble it and take it out and have some fun. So the first thing I'll do is cut up the front corners of the box, and the front will drop down just like that. The next job to do is to remove all of the packaging, and there will be a lot of it. And you need to take care when you're doing this, because the last thing you want to do is to cut through any cables or scratch your paint. And while I'm doing this, I'll be separating all the parts that I'm going to need for the assembly. And here they are. So let's make a start on the assembly. The first thing I'm going to do is to lift the folding handlebar stem and lock it into place with its hand clamp. Next I'm going to remove these Allen bolts so that I can remove the top clamp, and then I'll be able to install the handlebars. The handlebars are already connected to the bike with all of the cables, so all you need to do really is to lift it into place. Now you've only got to roughly get this where you want it, because you will be able to adjust it a little bit later. So top clamp back on, get the two Allen bolts once I'm sort of happy where I'm going to put it, and then get the two Allen bolts and we're going to secure them back in. Now as usual we'll start these off and get them kind of hand tight, and then we get the Allen key out and tighten them up. Now you want this really tight because you don't want it coming undone while you're riding the bike, and as I said, as long as it's roughly in the right place, that'll be fine for now. And then the next thing you're going to do is to pull the screen up, get that roughly where you want it, and then the little control pad there with the buttons on it, tilt that up and get that roughly where you want it as well. Now the next job gets a little bit interesting on this particular bike. What I'm going to do here is to install the front mudguard and the front lights. So first it's out with that Allen bolt from that position there, and then you want to do this before you fit the wheel. So get the mudguard into place there, as you can see there, and also the light fits to the same part of the front fork. Now I'm showing you there the bracket on the light. Make sure you put that behind that bracket that's on that mudguard, and then get your Allen key out and try to get everything nicely into the right position, and then just keep fiddling around with it, get everything sort of straightened off so that you're happy and ready to go. Now this is where it gets interesting on this particular bike. I've got to remove these pre-installed Allen bolts so that I can fit the braces for the mudguard. Now I could not undo that at all, even with these mole grips that you can see here. I think there was an over there enthusiastic worker, because I had to get an iron bar and bang it to release those nuts, and it was the same on both sides, but I got there eventually. So once you've removed the bolts, we're going to do the reverse and put them back in to secure those mudguard braces to the forks, and it's the same on both sides, so you need to do them back up but not too tight. Now what I'm removing here is not the front axle, it's a temporary sort of spindle. All manufacturers do it. They put it in the forks to keep the forks, you know, from getting damaged while they're in transit. So you want to get that all undone and remove it just like that. Now you'll also find this little piece of red plastic here in between the brake pads, and you need to remove that. Now I've got the bike laying on its side. When you're doing it on your own, it's easier for all the work that I've just done on the bike and now to install the wheel. Now you saw me pointing there at the disc. You need to make sure that you get that disc located between the disc pads without doing any damage. And then we're going to install the spindle. Now it's a quick release spindle, as you can see there, and I put the quick release part away on the opposite side to the actual disc, the brake disc itself. So what you do there is you just push it up through the center of the wheel like that, and then apply the nut here. Actually it's the washer here, you can see it's got that little lug on it. That lug will locate into a hole just at the top there of the spindle, as you can see I'm doing there, and then get the nut back on and get that tightened up as best you can. And then what we're going to do now is to right the bike. So now the bike's the right way up, and what we're going to do now is to apply that quick release clamp on that front wheel. You don't need it too tight or too loose, just about right really. So we're nearly there. What we're going to do now is install the seat post. Now this has to be the longest seat post I have ever seen, but it needs to be, you know, purely because of the design of the bike. So before we install the seat post into the frame, we need to get this clamp tight enough so that the seat post is not going to slide down inside it while you're going over bumps and things like that. Because, you know, once you set the height of your saddle, you really want it to stay where it is. So I think I've just about got it right there. Now it probably will be a little bit tight for its first time down inside the frame. That wasn't too bad. So there you go. So again, slide it down inside the frame like that. Get it to roughly where you want it. You can adjust it easy, you know, whenever you need to. So I'm going to get it about there, apply that clamp like that. And now the pedals. You can see me pointing at the L there for left. This is the left hand side of the bike. There's also an L on the pedal itself. Now, being the left hand side of the bike, this is a left hand thread. That's anti-clockwise. The pedal on the right hand side of the bike is a normal thread. That's clockwise, a right hand thread. Again, do them up sort of hand tight, and then what you need to do then is to get the spanner out and tighten them up, because the last thing you need is for them to come loose while you're riding the bike. And then don't forget, you're going to need to remove the little plastic film that's on the display screen on the handlebars. And then on the left hand side of the bike, near the pedal, is the charging socket. So let's get some power in it so that we can go and have some fun. Right, it's a beautiful day again here in England in April, and I've come to one of my favourite places, which is Pitsford Reservoir, or Pitsford Water. It's my first time out on this Bodywel T16 Pro, I believe it's called, and well, first of all, everything's working as it should be, which is always a good sign. Right, so to kick it off, let's talk about pedal assist. Now this bike has 5 levels of pedal assist, and so far they work pretty well. Now it's always that, when you've got a cadence sensor, it's always that first little turns of the wheels before that pedal assist kicks in. So what I'm going to do is just take it to 0. So I'm riding this bike just like any normal bike at the moment, and to be honest with you, because of its size, it is pretty easy. I'm just about on a little bit of an incline here, so I'm going to bring it into pedal assist 1, and yeah, it's not the quickest, but it's in. And then if we go up to pedal assist 2, and yes, you can really feel that, and then 3. Oh wow. Right, we'll keep it in 3 for a moment. It really wants to go, pull away from me here. Now there are no gears on this bike, so I am just ghost pedaling, but it rides beautifully. For such a tiny little bike, it rides beautifully. I mean, I actually love it. I really do. I like the look of it. I like the comfort of it. It is, you know, first impressions, that is. It's really comfortable. A nice bike to ride. One negative at the start, I would say, is that it has a beautiful colour display just here, but in the sunshine, it's not the easiest to read. I'm going to have to put some sort of a sun visor around that somehow. If I cover it up there, you might be able to see. But it is really bright, and I'm at this beautiful location. Now what I'll do is we'll have a ride around here. I think it's somewhere between 5 and 7 miles anyway. So what we'll do is we'll go round here. I've got to stop off and do some bits of filming and photographs on the way, and then when we get all the way round, I'll get back to that car park where I started, and then I'll take it up the hill and see just how that pedal assist does cope, as I always do. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy this because it is a beautiful day. I have to say it's a little bit chilly, as it has been recently. The sun's been shining beautifully, but there has been this little sort of chill in the air. Okay, it's only sort of early to mid-April, so I guess that's to be expected, but the skies have been beautiful. So I'll carry on a little bit further and then we'll have a little bit of an update. Now the pedal, I've found that the best way to pull off, because there's no throttle on this little bike and no gears, the best way to pull off is maybe at least in pedal assist 2. I'm just going to flick it up to pedal assist 3 there, and in it comes. There is a slight delay, but because the bike is so light, well, it's the least of any problems of any bike that I've tried in the past. This is certainly the lightest and I think the smallest. It doesn't fold the smallest, but it definitely is, it feels like the smallest bike and the cutest bike. I love the colour. Yeah, I love everything about it so far. This is definitely a keeper for me. Unfortunately, it's replacing my favourite small bike that I've been using during the last year. Nothing wrong with it, but this is just so good. So good. Right, so I was just pedalling there as normal, like a normal bike. And I've now gone into pedal assist 1, which is just a pleasant little ride, to be honest with you. Now, it works as any other pedal assist bike, whereas if you pull the brake lever, it does cut out that pedal assist. So you can leave these in pedal assist, and if you want to, rather than turning the pedal assist off, you can just apply the brake, and that will, you know, not apply it all the way, just a little bit of pressure to either brake, just a little bit, and it cuts out that pedal assist. So that works absolutely fine on this bike. The brakes are really good, I have to be honest. Out of the box, the brakes are really good. Tyres were already pumped up, I've checked those, they were fine. The lights all work, which you would have seen all of those parts on me assembling the bike, and there wasn't a great deal to assemble on this bike anyway. Yeah, so a lot of these little bikes are basically city bikes, or just to run to the shops on or something like that. I like them to be a little bit more, and I will put a bag on them and, you know, go out on a little bit of an adventure if you like. But this bike is coping really well with this stony ground. It's a stony track, no problem at all. I could see this bike handling, you know, quite a few terrains that you probably wouldn't expect it to. You've got to give it a go, and that's what I love to do. And the little bike is doing fantastically well. Now that was a first. I just had somebody stop me as I was riding just then and wanted to buy the bike there and then. I couldn't even say let me finish the review and then I'll consider it, because I'm keeping this bike. That's how good I think this little bike is. I'm down by the water here, and this is quite a bit of an incline. I'm going to get onto the bike and switch it on. There we go, and I'm going to go straight into pedal assist 3, and let's see what happens. Oh yeah, oh very good. Now I didn't expect that, so that's the thing to do with this bike. That was so good. Whoops, oh dear me, sand. Now that was so good. So that was from a standing start, no throttle on this bike, remember, and it was a hill to go up, and I went straight to pedal assist 3. Soon as I started pedaling, in it came. If I'd have gone into pedal assist 1, there wouldn't have been enough, so that is the thing to do. There are thousands of flies. I'm not sure if that camera's going to show them. Oh my goodness. This is the dam section of this water, and I have my hand out here and I can feel them on my hand. Right, as usual, I have my trusty piece of paper here. I've stopped at this lovely location to have a look around the bike, and I think you'll probably agree it's a lovely looking thing. Look at that, beautiful. Right, so let's start with the frame itself. That's crafted with an aerospace grade aluminium alloy, The battery is a 36 volt 7.8 amp hour, and the range is around about 45 kilometers in pedal assist mode. It doesn't say what level of pedal assist mode. It's a 250 watt brushless geared motor there in the back there. It has disc brakes on the rear there and on the front. It has front suspension, as you can see on the fork just there. There is no suspension on the rear, but so far that's not a problem. It also has front LED light here and rear LED light and brake light down here, and they work from the battery on the bike. It has folding handlebars. You can see the hinge just there. It has an adjustable seat. It's the longest seat post I have ever seen, to be honest with you, but it works really well. The weight of the bike is 45 pounds, and the range is up to about 50 kilometers, depending how much you use that pedal assist. It's got a fantastic rear rack, which I'm putting to use, 14-inch wheels with pneumatic tyres, and this lovely colour display that's not overly visible with this sunshine. But anyway, there you are. That is the Bodywel T16 Pro, and so far I am really liking this bike, and as I said, I am going to be keeping it because I'm enjoying riding it so much. Right, so here we go. I'm leaving the car park now. Excuse me. And what we'll do is we'll do the hill test. Now, it is fairly a steep hill, especially as you get up towards the village of Holcott. So just make sure we can get out here safely and we're okay to go. Now it's fairly level along here at the start of it. So what I'm going to do is just keep it in pedal assist 1 for the time being. Blimey. Like I say, I'll keep it in pedal assist 1 for the time being until we get towards the base of the hill. Now, as I've said previously, everything with the bike works lovely, absolutely lovely, a pleasure to ride. This is obviously, if you're looking for a really big bike, you know, that you can virtually take up a mountain, then this isn't the bike for you. If you're looking for a bike that you can just put in the boot of your car or in your camper van, as I do, then this is ideal. As I mentioned earlier on, it doesn't fold completely. The handlebars fold down, the pedals fold. You can take the saddle off as well, and yeah, it's small enough then to put into a reasonable sized boot on a car. And it is the kind of bike that, as you've seen with me today around this reservoir, you know, it's okay, they are ideally suited for city roads and cycle paths and things like that, but there's no reason why you can't take a bike like this more or less anywhere, especially a lovely beauty spot like this. I mean, this is absolutely ideal for that, and not only that, it looks good. Anyway, so not too far now and then we'll have the hill, and I want to see, there's no throttle on this bike, remember, so I want to see if this bike's going to cope just with the pedal assist. I don't want to have to stop, that would be embarrassing after all I've said about the bike. Hi. Yeah, that would be really embarrassing after all I've said. I would imagine, you know, after looking at the performance for the last 3 or 4 hours here, that this should be okay. Right, so we're slight incline now, not too much. I'm still in pedal assist 1. I'm going to take it up to 2. Just there it goes. I could feel that then. That was really good. There we are, and I'm just basically ghost pedaling, which is what you would normally have to do these bikes once they start going in pedal assist, particularly if you haven't got any gears. So I'm popping it up now to pedal assist 3. There you go, I could feel that, and I'm going to go, that is, oh, sorry, I got confused there. Pedal assist 3, that's the top. I don't know why, I was thinking it got 5 levels. Right, so here we go. As you can see, hopefully this is a steep hill. Right, I can feel the pedals now. I can actually feel them. I'm not ghost pedaling. You know, I'm making some contact with the drive on here. I'm making some contact with the drive. It's not hard work. It's just a nice, comfortable little pedal. You're not going to ghost pedal up here, that's for sure. You are going to have to put a little bit in, because after all, if you're not pedaling, you're not getting the assistance that you need. But no, this is absolutely fine. Now this is really the steep part of the hill. What are we doing? I can't. 13 kilometers we're doing at the moment. Again, I forgot to change that on this bike to miles, so you know, 15.5 miles is the maximum with these UK bikes. It's about 25 kilometers. It's up to 14 now. That's it. We've just more or less over the steepest part of the hill, and that was, you can see I'm not puffed out or anything. Absolutely fine. So I've got confidence really. Anywhere I take this bike, or anyone that buys it takes this bike, then you're going to be able to use it more or less wherever you want to. And even though it doesn't have a throttle and more levels of pedal assist, it's more than adequate for this bike. Let's drop it back down to level 1. There we are. We'll just stop here. Actually, that's gone to 0. So what I'm going to do is a standing start. So I'm going to go into 3. We'll go back down the hill on the cycle path and see what speed we can get up to in 0. So here we go. Yeah, that got away nicely. In fact, whoa, I'll slow that down slightly. There we are, onto the cycle path. And let's take it. There we are, down to 0. Right, so no pedal assist. Let's see what we do. It's already, yeah, it's already at 29, 30 kilometers, 33. So there you go. You see, that's the pedal assist does its job with holding the bikes to their legal limit. I'll try that again. So there you go, that pedal assist works fine on these at holding it to its legal limit when you're using the motor. But when you're not using the motor, this thing will just keep going. I slowed it up, we were back up to 31 kilometers, 30 again as we just come off that hill. So there you go, let's just pop it back into pedal assist level 1, just to go along this straight. So there you go, when the bike's in its pedal assist mode, it does what it's supposed to do, and that's to keep you at the maximum 15.5 miles an hour. You normally find with the bikes with the 3 levels of pedal assist that level 1 is probably around about 9 miles an hour, level 2 is around about 12 miles an hour, and the level 3 is the 15.5 miles an hour, which is the maximum. But it just shows you, as I showed you there, turn off the motor and it will just coast like any other bike, and there are no restrictions on that. And there are no restrictions on that, of course, because when you use a normal pedal bike without any kind of assistance, then you really just keep to the national speed limits, and this bike will do exactly the same. So, you know, use the assistance and you've got your limits, but you are being helped. Take the assistance off, and as you saw there coming down that hill, it got up to about 34 kilometers an hour. Now, I'm pretty sure it would have done more than that. Anyway, so to just summarize with the bike, I've said it a couple of times and I'm going to say it again. I can't find anything to fault with it. Nothing at all. You know, it's what you expect, isn't it? It's about what you expect. This is a standard, if you like, e-bike from China, as most of them are. Solidly made, and things work as they should do. So there you go. So for me, the bike has performed perfectly, and I look forward to using it some more. So there you go, that's the Bodywel T16 Pro. Now there is a label on the bike with a QR code here, so if you click on that with your phone, then you'll get the app, and you can control certain things on the bike, much like you can with the little controller that's actually on the handlebars of the bike. Anyway, what did I think of that bike? Well, first of all, I think it's a lovely looking bike, I have to be honest with you, and the ride is really good. For a small bike, it's probably the best one that I have ridden. Now the handlebars are pretty wide apart, and that gives it the feel of a bigger bike, in my opinion. Now I used it for quite a bit, and I've used it since a couple of times, and I have no problem at all with that bike, and I'm sure if you get yourself one, you'll probably agree. As I said at the start of the video, it does come in about 5 different colours. As you saw from the video, the one I had was white. Everything on that bike works absolutely perfectly. And once I'd figured out the pedal assist on that bike, pulling away, because as I said, there is no throttle. In fact, it's completely UK legal, that bike. And I have to say, if it did fold, it would be absolutely perfect. But I guess because of the design and the thickness of the actual body of the bike, that wouldn't be possible. Having said that, when you fold down the handlebars, take out the seat, it's not too much room anyway for most sort of average cars, and definitely for me in the camper van. So there you go. The bike, as I said, I think is, well, I love it. I do, and I'm going to be keeping it. So thank you for watching. If you found the video interesting, why don't you consider a thumbs up? If you really found it interesting, why don't you consider subscribing? And take a look back at my library of videos. There's a few more bikes in there, and make up your own mind if you like. Certainly if you're looking for a bike. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one. We're Paul and Suzanne, and we'd love you to join us on our days out.